just our common sense, everyday perception of the Earth, it is flat as far as we can tell. It is motionless as far as we can tell. And everything in the sky is revolving around us as far as we can tell. If nobody told us otherwise, we'd logically assume that the Earth was flat, motionless, with everything in the sky revolving around us. And you can prove that this is the case as well, for instance, with the horizon. As you rise up, no matter how high you go on the top of Mount Everest, or if you go in a balloon higher and higher, we've gotten independent balloons have gone up with cameras, the horizon remains flat all the way around and rises to the eye of the camera all the way up, totally flat, and rises to the eye of the observer. So that's one proof. Now, if the Earth were a ball, no matter how big, the horizon is said to be the curvature of the ball.
If you were to go to NASA, it's all fraud, it's all fake. Pretty much everything NASA puts out is fraudulent. There are no images of Earth from space. Put an end to this topic once and for all, turn the Hubble around and show us Earth in real time, but they will not do it. They can't do it. It doesn't exist. It literally doesn't exist. Looking at these images of Earth, including the one they called the Big Blue Marble, which was released in 2002, I think. Zoom into it with Photoshop, you'll see where they've used the clone tool in Photoshop to take a picture of one of the clouds and stamp it in various places around the picture. They got lazy.
If the Earth is 25,000 miles in circumference, there must exist a curvature drop of 8 inches times the mile when you square the mile. 1 mile means there should be an 8-inch curvature drop. 2 miles, 2 times 2 times 8 is 32. That's 32-inch drop. 3 miles would be a 72-inch drop. And this would exponentially continue. Here's the longest bridge in the world, the Danyang Kongchon Grand Bridge in China, 102.4 miles long. There should exist nearly 7,000 feet of curvature drop in that bridge. 7,000 foot curvature drop. Do you see it? It ain't there. Look at the horizon. It's flat.
Welcome, everybody. Hey, it's Beck. How are you all today? Got a bit of an interesting stream. We're going to have an interesting chat this evening. I have Growler as usual. How you going there, mate?
Good, sis. How are you going?
I am good. And
That's
we have
good.
Special guest Joe Hill from Eftupworld. Thanks for joining us. Joe's not here yet.
Thanks.
Yes, he is.
Amazing. Great to have Joe on board.
Hello. How you guys doing?
I like your funny little icon.
You like that?
Yes, I do. And I'd like to welcome everybody in the chat. Hi, guys. Thank you. Hi, Vincent, Flying Free, Michael Joshua Lewis, back again. Hey, mate. Timothy Ryan, Messy Gentleman as usual. So, okay, tonight we are going to put Flat Earth to bed, I reckon. We're going to give it a good go. We're going to test, okay? So we are going to try to test our own theories. So we have Joe, who has his own channel, Eftupworld, for those of you that don't know, okay? So welcome, Joe. How are you from Minnesota?
Yes, Minnesota. I'm doing great. Thank you for allowing me to come on here and say hi to you guys. I always like listening to your live streams.
That's cool, mate. Thank you very much. And listen, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank all my new subscribers who have joined. And we're just trying to have chats in these channels and in this stream. We're not telling you this or that. You test everything. You take everything we say and test it. But I just wanted to say thank you to all. I reached 1,000, so I haven't got an email yet or anything, but that's okay. It's just, that's good because the word's getting out. So, share this around because we're trying to get some information out to you guys that at this point in time is critical to know. With the way the world is, we need to know, we have to have knowledge. So if you sit back, get a coffee, buckle up, we're going to start talking about it.
Awesome. How's Growler doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, brother. How have you been over the last few weeks? I've been sending you a bit of stuff on Facebook. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but
I've seen a little bit of it, but I've been real busy too, looking at some things that I think we're all learning a lot.
Yeah. There's so much happening. It's you've got to be pretty smart about it too. Because if they're saying something's happening over here, in reality, it's happening over the other side of the world or something. Have a look over what's happening over the other side of the world. So these people are just masters at propaganda and deception. They'll make you look where they want you to look. So like you said, it's just a massive game to try and find out what they're up to. So you've got to look the other way and see what's happening the other way. So, but yeah, so everything's really good, and really enjoy all your videos, mate. And great to talk to someone that's woke.
Definitely.
I just wanted to give a really big shout out to ODD TV too, because I played that clip. I think that was, it was Eric Dubai that was first talking in that clip we watched then. But never mind. But it was a clip from ODD TV, so big shout out. And he had a car accident a few weeks back. He got pretty beat up, ODD. I don't know if anybody knew that. Yeah. So,
yeah, he got banged up.
Yeah. So, yeah, he did. So prayers to ODD, guys. Anyway, we'll get stuck into this. I really liked that video. That's what I just wanted to chat about for a sec.
Yeah, it was great.
It really got stuck into it straight away. But I know that Joe's got a few videos that he said when we were speaking on the phone he wanted to show me. So I'd like to see that one you were talking about, Joe, by Nathan Thompson.
Oh yeah, you know what I was gonna have to do, and this is my own fault that we didn't check this out. I'm gonna have to go into the StreamYard, and I remember the last time when we were on together and I tried playing videos. Do you remember there was an audio issue and I had to do a setting differently? So I'm looking into that right now.
Okay.
And I think I remember what I did.
You're right. Take your time. We've got all stream. I was just wanting to know, there's a chatter in here, T McD. You in total lockdown, are you in Victoria? Because it sounds like you are. So, I don't want to ask you how bad it is because I could imagine, but I'm sorry to hear that. And we've been praying for everybody because it's just awful.
I'm just wondering, just quickly, as Sister Beck said, but T McD, I'm just wondering if you can give us just a basic overall view of the mood and just what people are feeling, and just the emotion of it, and what's happening down there and what's happening around where you live, and what are people saying, and if you could actually just write or tell us something like that, that would be fantastic, because we'd really like to hear it from the horse's mouth.
That's right, because this person we're talking about, guys, he's in Victoria, which I'm sure you've all had Victoria on the TV in the States over there. It's in full lockdown, and it's just, this is it. The communism's crept in and we're in for a ride, but we really wanted not to talk about that sort of stuff tonight, because everybody's talking about COVID. Everybody's talking about that, okay, what's going on. So tonight we just wanted to concentrate on this, what we're doing. We just want to bust this as wide open as we can for everyone, because I've got a lot of new people in here that might not still know where we live, that could be still under this spell, because that's all it is. It's not the people's fault. They're under a spell.
No, that's right. That's right.
That's the television, the movies, everything put them under the spell. But the spell can be broken so easy. So for those of you who still are not where we are, that you still think we're on a globe, please bear with us, because we're not mean, we're not nasty. We just want to tell you guys what we know is the truth. And if someone comes in here and is starting to be a troll or anything like that, I just will remove you, because I won't, make conversation with that. So as long as we've got all that done, I'm trying to send you guys messages while I'm talking, as you can see on the stream, and I'm having a bit of a hard time. So here we go. Joe, how did you go? Is Joe there? He's trying to do his video. Okay, listen, guys, I want to tell you how I found out about the enclosed system that we live in. I think I might have the C919. I'm coughing, so bear with me. Now, when I first discovered this, I had a nerve go in my leg and I couldn't do anything. So my family bought me a tablet, and because I was lounge bound, I literally didn't walk for a while, long time. And the father led me to, well, they gave me a tablet and I went, oh, okay. Then I found YouTube and I went, oh, okay. And I've never ever watched stupid things. So I started with documentaries, and there was somehow a documentary about flat earth in there. And I went, oh, I'll have a look at that. And that led to, it was ODD TV. It was the first one I saw. Very, very well presented, well put together documentary. People that know what they're talking about, people that have researched and gotten all the specifications, just like Joe has, just like Nathan Thompson has. These people all need a shout out, because they've all done the hard work, and I came along at the end, saw what had been done, and realised that it was all true. So I started with Aleister Crowley. I don't know. Oh, because I was into Led Zeppelin. That's right. I was looking up Led Zeppelin, and then I thought, this Aleister Crowley keeps popping up. I'm going to look it up. So I did that, and that led to my journey with ODD, and this amazing journey that I must say is the most incredible journey. If you haven't taken it, it is really something else. It changes your life. So, Growler, while we're waiting for Joe, can you please?
Actually, can you guys hear me?
Right. Yes, mate.
Okay, I was just trying to figure out. I think I got it figured out now. So if I do that, and then if I do, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play the video from Nathan Thompson on my YouTube channel. Can you guys see my screen there? It should say 666 NASA.
Yes, mate, we can. All good.
Okay, I should be ready then. So okay. Do you want to hold off, or you want me to just play it? It's 3 minutes long.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Hopefully the audio works.
Okay, let's go on a learning trip. There's no audio, but I can still hear.
Oh, there's no audio. Okay, then
I can still hear your mic. Okay.
Okay, then I have to do. Yeah, I can't remember what I did. If you want to just continue on, and I'll keep working on it here in the background. Sorry, guys.
That is not a problem, because I wanted Growler to give his quick testimony about how he came to believe, or how he got awoken to this. Yep.
Well, it's funny. I never really thought about flat Earth or anything like that. I was always into the military side of stuff, and of course, everything else. But I never really thought about what the Earth was like. But I remember when I was younger, and I remember reading a verse in the Bible where it says we live on an immovable plane, supported by pillars, and and then you go to school, and they teach you the planets, and indoctrinate you with all this, and it just didn't seem in my life. It just didn't seem right. How could you be traveling at millions of miles an hour through the universe, not really get hit by anything, if you're flying that fast, I mean, I'm sure you'd be pretty well rocking and rolling and falling over everywhere. And that's when I first subbed to my sister Beck. I think that's when you had about 61 subscribers, and you kept on going about the enclosed system, and I didn't really dig into it that much because I was still, on my path, with following, the Jesuit path and Catholics and what they're doing and world wars. And so I didn't really get into it. And then that's when you talked to me about the enclosed system, that we've got a dome over us. And you showed me, you showed me a few things where it says in the Bible this and that. And then I listened to Dr. Gene Kim. Well, he put it in a way where we live in a pyramid, like an enclosed system, a pyramid. That's the way he looked at it. But I think the terrarium is the way to go. That's what I think. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as it's an enclosed system. And I thought, there is no way that we're flying through space at 1,000,000 k's an hour. It says in the Bible, it says in God's word, that we live on an immovable plane, supported by pillars. So to me, that's not a planet flying at millions of miles an hour through space.
I know we might be going a bit fast for some people who are not sure about this, but I'm glad you're saying all that, right?
Yeah.
But what made you really realize that it was like just that moment where you just knew that?
Yeah, I just first of all, it was when you have a look at the enclosed system and what the Father created. I mean, and then you see, let's say, what NASA does. The Father's creation and his enclosed system is just so much more awe-inspiring. It is just, I mean, if we could actually look at what the Earth looks like, from so-called space, let's say just on top of the dome or something, or, we would just be blown away. We would just be awesomely blown away. So, and it's like I said, sis, it's when you showed me the scriptures, and we live in an enclosed system, and it really did make sense. And the Holy Spirit just convicts you about this.
Yes,
the Holy Spirit convicts you. It really does. I mean, if the Holy Spirit doesn't convict you, you're not going to believe. And I just can't understand how people say that, this is just me, I'm saying, that there's big planets and we're all flying at thousands of miles an hour, and where there's things orbiting us, and I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. So I just knew straight away. And it's liberating, to be honest.
I think I may have gotten it figured out. Maybe
you did. We just saw it
possibly
on our end. It's ready.
Yeah, we can. Okay, I can. I'll just do this. I'll start this, and if you don't hear audio right away when I press play, then just tell me, and that means it didn't work. But I think I might have figured it out here. Okay. So here we go. Do you hear that?
No.
Okay, then I guess if you can play it on your end, that I don't have the video in the right format to have it to play it.
We've got it here.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
We'll just play it here. Ready? Okay, let's go.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see just how evil NASA is. First, we're going to look at Earth's orbital speed around the sun. How fast does Earth move around the sun? 66,600 miles per hour, speed of the globe's orbit. Next, curvature in 1 mile squared. According to Pythagorean theorem, 0.67 feet of drop. 8 inches converted to feet is 0.66667. Curvature in 1 mile squared. Check. Earth axial tilt. 23.4. But when you take 23.4 and subtract it from 90, a right angle, you get, believe it or not, 66.6. Again, axial tilt confirmed. Now let's take a look at the Antarctic and Arctic circles. Oh, just like that. 66.6 degrees north and 66.6 degrees south. Now let's go over the diameter of the moon. This is a new one. I actually didn't know. It's 2,160 miles, but you take 6 times 6 times 6. There you go. 2160. The surface temperature of Uranus. Oh, there you go. Negative 216, which is 6 times 6 times 6. 216. Oh, you thought we were done. Let's do Pluto's orbital velocity. Scroll down here. Oh, there we go. 6. The speed of sound in knots. Speed of sound. Oh, well, look at that. 666 knots. The Earth's circumference in nautical miles. 21,600. There you go, ladies. Again, 600 times 6 times 6. Another coincidence, 21,600. How far is Mars from the sun? 1.666 astronomical units. Now let's look at Ceres' synodic period. And just as you expected, 666. Again, the devil's in the details, ladies and gentlemen. Saturn's orbital distance in kilometers. Let's take a look at the numbers. Oh, 1,426,666,000.
Thanks to Nathan Thompson for that video. Hey, Joe, that was good.
Yeah, it was. That's why I left a message on, or I mean a comment on his video, and I said, can I mirror this on my channel? And he said, always. So I love Nathan. He's awesome.
Yeah, he said he might drop in. He's just really tired, so we'll see. If he drops in, he does it. It would be cool. See how we go, maybe next time. So
I just made I just uploaded that video on the screen there, a video for McToon channel. About sun setting on flat Earth. But there's a lot of things that we were all born, I guess the right word would be indoctrinated in school. And I mean, this world has believed this heliocentric thing. So it's a hard thing to consider that what if it was wrong? But once you do consider it, things start to pop out of the woodwork that it has to be the Holy Spirit making these things known.
it has to be, because we're all over the earth and we're all joined together on things like this. I mean, think about that, guys. It's unbelievable. We have the opportunity to be able to share this with you guys. So I'm gobsmacked at that video. It just, every time things like that, all the specs, like 8 inches per square mile we have of curvature. Now, I have a P900. I know it's a lie. How long you can see with the P900, you can bring ships in that are over the curve because it's all an illusion. And you can show someone that standing right next to you and they will still deny it. But I don't want to go into that side of it, because I think that's the grand illusion that they're getting. They're being blinded. So this is why we're trying to say, hey, people, just have a look at this. This is real. This will change your life, because in amongst all this confusion that is this world, this is what the answer is. At the end of all this we're talking about, this is your escape. So stay tuned, because it's going deeper. So
can I?
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt. I was just going to say, whenever it's a good time, I have Isaiah 43 open, and I just like to read something. I guess it's a prophecy of the end, and it's quite interesting what it says. If you want, I can read it right now.
Sure.
Oop,
Go.
there okay, I was just making sure that after playing with all my settings, I didn't know if you could hear me. Okay, it's Isaiah 43, and I'll start in verse 5. Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far and my daughters from the ends of the earth. Even everyone that is called by my name, for I have created him for my glory. I have formed him, yea, I have made him. Bring forth the blind people that have eyes, and the deaf that have ears. Let all the nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled. Who among them can declare this, and show us former things? Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may be justified, or let them hear and say, it is truth. Ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. And I could read on, but I just, it's powerful. I mean, he says he's going to call his sons and daughters from the ends of the earth and ask them to declare truth.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And it is amazing. So I just wanted to read that. Like there's so much that I've learned from the Bible, especially from the Gospels, listening to what Jesus said while he was walking on the earth here, healing people's infirmities and preaching the gospel of the kingdom. He was like, yeah, he's done all this in my life, changed my whole life. Can I read you a verse in the book of John, chapter 16, that totally made me understand kind of what was happening as I was beginning to see some of these awkward truths?
Absolutely.
All right. It's John 16, verse 13, 14, and 15. And this is just so like precious and powerful to me every time I read it. And this was Jesus talking, and he says, howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. He shall glorify me, for he shall receive of mine, and shall show it unto you. All things that the Father hath are mine. Therefore said I, that he shall take of mine, and shall show it unto you. And to me, that's just powerful. He is showing us. And I think all we have to do is believe the things he said. The creation, he declared everything that we see, everything we experience, the world we live in, the human body, everything that anybody's ever thought of or seen or experienced, he spoke it out of his mouth and declared it in 6 days. One of the first things he said was, let there be light, and there was light. So that's the truth. That's the true story. And we've had, I guess, the sciences in the world have, tried to learn more about the earth and about history and about everything, but they kind of, they have a disadvantage because they disclude automatically the creator of all things. If they would include, like if NASA would include that, they might really understand this world, but they don't, because they discount him when it's so simple what he made and where we live. It's just very clear to me. But
wow. Okay. So Vernon, sorry to cut you off, but Vernon sent us a video. I think I know the one, but it goes for it's like an 8-minute long video, so I don't know how much of it. Just put in the comments section how much of it is watchable. It's a little bit long, but yeah, sorry, Joe, that was awesome what you just said. It really was. I think we're really having some sort of fellowship here at the moment. It's awesome. I just wanted to say, can we just go back to let people know how all this started with, at the very beginning with the Nazis and Warner von Braun? And
Yeah.
just really quickly, like we're doing a 101 flat earth for people, just let's do a little summary kind of thing so people might know where it all came from. So it goes back to the war when
To Hitler,
America, yeah, and Hitler had these Nazi rocket scientists and just scientists in general. And in the war, the Americans, after the war, grabbed 200 of them and brought them over here and did this Operation Paperclip, which is interesting in itself.
I think it was more than 1,000 of them.
Well, yeah, they say, yeah, that's exactly what, right. They say 200, but it wasn't. And
it was basically they were given jobs at NASA, weren't they?
Exactly.
That's
and
how
NASA
started.
That's how NASA started. But the thing with NASA is that Walt Disney, people need to understand this. Walt Disney and Aleister Crowley came in on this deal too. Now, this was it all goes back to the occult. It all goes back to evil. It all goes back to witchcraft, black magic. This is bad, guys. These guys were trying to build rockets to get through the firmament, to get to the creator, to kill him. All they want to do is kill him at the end of the day. This is all this was about, was a big war. These people were so evil and wicked. So you've got Warner von Braun, Walt Disney, you've got Aleister Crowley, and then you've got JPL Laboratories, which is named from Jack Parsons, who blew himself up. Who blew himself up. And that was interesting in itself. I mean, they made a golem, and I don't even want to tell people what a golem is. In the comment section, if people don't know, just ask. You can ask one of the others. But they actually put a golem in a rocket and sent it up. And, I mean, this stuff goes deep. So then Walt Disney come into it. And, of course, what was Walt Disney after? The children. So this whole thing with everything that you watch and everything that goes into your mind, all your music, your Walt Disney, your children's stuff, it all goes back to unbelievably wicked stuff. All they want is confusion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I didn't want to cut you off.
A bit of a roll. I am. I'm just. Yeah, my brain's gone. Like they are all they want. They want the children. If they can get the children, they have ruined everything. They got Walt Disney in there. Warner von Braun had on his headstone when he died Psalms 19:1, which is the firmament shows the glory of his handiwork. The firmament, was on his gravestone, this man who built the rockets to try to get out of the firmament. So this stuff goes deep, and you can learn very quickly if you do research, even for just one day. You would realize how this is a big web, and Walt Disney is also part of the globe because it's all animated. It's all a lie because Satan is the author of confusion. And if the earth is a dome, Satan's going to make it the opposite. It's a spinning ball out of control. Everything is 666, all the calculations. That's what you showed with that Nathan Thompson video. Did you get your audio going, Joe? I'm really interested to see that you had the video there.
I'm not sure. I think if I try to play some of the videos that I have converted to work in my software, I think it'll work. But I'm looking on here, and I think I figured out because the format of Nathan's video wasn't in the right format to be in my program. So, you were saying about, Werner von Braun and all these kind of wicked people, Jack Parsons and all these guys kind of coming together. Another thing that, it's shocking when you realize it, but it just sounds, we have lots of words in our language that we just speak, and sometimes they don't seem to mean much, but some of them do. And you know how they went to the moon? They say they went to the moon, right? And
Yes.
what did they call that? That was Apollo.
Apollo, which is
Apollo.
Apollyon,
Yes,
guys.
that's Revelation
The
9, verse
destroyer.
11 says
Mhm.
that it's the Apollyon is the angel of the bottomless pit.
Yes.
So that's, you know, but all those people coming together, you know, I don't think they have any knowledge of it necessarily, you know, in the front of their mind. I think it's just something that they're doing. And I can read Psalm 2, just a couple verses. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of
Yes.
the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. So I think there's so much involved all at once, and we were all, anybody alive right now, anybody listening to this was born into this as if it was normal and not wicked
Yes.
or evil. And so when we're doing this you know, deep research in all these subjects, and it's not just a few people doing this research, it is worldwide. The research
Yes.
and the realization of this truth, it is worldwide. And so that tells me that it's a work of the Holy Spirit. And, you know, Jesus said that all truth would be made manifest and people would know it. So all truth, you know, so that's important, I think. But yeah, I think they're even if they're not aware of it, they're in a battle. They're setting themselves and counseling together against the Lord.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. Are you there, Growler?
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm just enjoying listening to you professionals. You know, you're a lot better at it than me, so I'm just listening and learning a lot as well. But as you were saying there, Joe, it is you know, with your rockets. See, I was saying on the last live stream, you know, we all know that the NASA so-called NASA space program is just a cover for the real space program. But what they're using the rockets for, and what NASA are doing, are trying to punch holes into the firmament. And I think Hillary Clinton said it quite a few times. Was that right, Beck?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true.
Yeah, that's right. So, and I mean, the real space program where they can actually go into another dimension or go through the veil, whatever that is, that's separate. So what we're talking about here is, as I was saying to Beck, and like I said on the last live stream, it's funny how these NASA and all these other big companies, they still use 1940s technology in 2020. So really, they're really giving themselves away, because you can really see that there hasn't been a real leap in technology. You know, that they're showing us. It's just it's just rockets. But they've got their purpose, and they've got their purpose to fulfill. You know, like I said, punching holes through the firmament, and plus tricking people that they're going to outer space when the rockets are falling into the ocean, or maybe another place on the Earth that we don't know. Because if we know that everything's protected by the dome, we know that the Father is the only one who says what comes in is allowed. What I say that comes in can come in. What can't come in, I won't let in. So yeah, it's I tell you what, you really see the size and the scope of what the creation is, and what it involves. It's just mind blowing. Really.
Yeah, reminds me of King Nimrod and the Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
One thing that really stands out to me when I read that in I think it's Genesis 11, is it says when the Lord came down, he said, the people are all of one tongue and one language, and this they decide to do, like they're building a tower. And then he said, now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. So I'm going, when NASA is like, I had kind of a joke video of one of the Mars landing things when NASA was doing their big thing about it, and they had all the people in the room, and they're talking about it, and I kept editing in there when Jim Bridenstine was saying on television, because that's all they're doing. They're seeing it on TV. Like they send something up on a rocket, and they believe that it's doing all these specific things that they designed it to do, and they spend all these billions of dollars to get it to do. And really what's happening? Maybe nothing, but they're getting a bunch of ones and zeros back, or a beep, beep. Oh yeah, it landed. They don't know. They have no idea. So it is something that, if you really think about it, there is a lot of deception too. And we could go back to Project Echo, that that reflective satelloon that they sent up. The first time they sent that up, they sent it up on a Thor Delta rocket, and the second stage of that rocket was a rookie. Basically, it was the first time that they had sent that up, and it failed. And when they, I was looking for the article here, but I couldn't find it. That was like the Cold War was going on, and Russia had put up Sputnik. And so there was a lot of intimidated American people because we didn't know, I'm not saying we as if I was there. The people in America, they were kind of worried about, weaponizing space and all of this. So when this balloon failed, NASA, they told the public that it didn't fail. And they have it on NASA.gov. Like, they admit this. They said it was it was kind of up to one person that was in charge of that mission or whatever. And he used his discretion and said, with the time that we're in, with the relationship with Russia and the things that are happening, it was too crucial that it succeeded. And so they faked that it succeeded for a short amount of time till they sent up Echo 2 or whatever. So there's recorded deception in NASA, and it's not hidden. It's public information. It's in the public record. So that's one thing that I think is important, that we got to realize that there's things that, and the money that NASA gets is an insane amount of money too. Back in like, I don't know if it's chapter, I don't remember which chapter in Acts, but they were worshiping the stars and the host of heaven. And when I look at our world today, we spend $400 billion a year worldwide, trying to go to space. So what are we worshiping? As far as it's a very dangerous thing, I think, for anyone to be believing in these things, or especially to be like supportive of what they're doing,
Can I just say to TM McD, he says, I think I may be out of my depth here. None of this is making sense. We'll think about it for a bit. All my love to you all. Yeah, we got a little bit off where I really wanted to start with, like, how 101, Joe, remember how we were talking?
Yeah.
Trying to just help people understand that you've been lied to by a Luciferian system. It's quite a simple thing at the end of it, but people saying, pardon?
We can even, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we can start without even talking about NASA.
Exactly.
And what I mean by that is, we have our own senses. So I'm going to play a little game or a little, mind exercise. And I will ask the question to anyone in the chat that was kind of like, I saw something float by on the chat that said, so what shape is the earth? Well, let's not quite get to the shape quite yet, but maybe we should talk about its supposed rotation one time per day. Let me ask a question for the chat. And I'm not saying people should answer this, but just answer it in your own heart or mind. When you think of all the experiences you've had, think of the room you're in right now, and the ground beneath your feet. Is there any sign of that ground ever moving at all? Show any kind of signs of either rotation or any kind of movement at all, other than an earthquake? I mean, but regular, minus the earthquake, has it ever given you any kind of anything that you can perceive with all your senses that it's moving? Because this was a big thing for me when I realized, I would be thinking of this and I'm like, well, it has to be rotating because the sun, is a 24-hour thing. And I'm like, well, let's think about this in reality. The sun moves over everyone's head every day. It comes up in the east and goes down in the west. The sun. So if we forget about what NASA says, because I'll just say I think NASA's deceived and just deception, the whole thing. We have gotten the wrong idea from these years and years. And, it goes back to Galileo when he was looking up at Jupiter and he saw 4 lights that appear to be circling Jupiter. And then this whole gravity theory got traction. And what I have to say about that is Galileo's telescope is like what your child's Fisher-Price telescope is like. Okay. Yeah. He did not have any kind of optics like we have today. So that's one thing that but as far as moving, the earth that I live on, although I understand the intellectual reason that people would say that the earth is rotating, in my world, it has never moved. No. So that's I think one basic thing that to me is important, because if you're having a conversation with someone and there's almost like a debate of whether the earth is turning or not, it's hard to argue with someone that's saying the ground beneath your feet is moving. Like if you're in the same room with them and the ground's clearly not moving. It's only an intellectual thing that comes from imagining ourselves to be out in space looking at the earth, And if we go with our perceptions that we have, that God gave us, it's hard to argue with stationary earth. That's right. One important thing.
That is one important thing that we're all born with. I knew it from a child. I never bought it.
Yeah. That's a great point.
Yeah. Even, that goes as deep as the evolution lie. There was just something in me that always knew that everything was wrong they were telling me, but I couldn't go against the system. But it turned me into a real little rebel, because I always knew something was wrong. And now I know that's why I am the way I am. So I tell you what we need to do is, have we got some calculations there we can show people to about 8 inches per square mile for the curvature? Joe, have you got anything there we can show them? Because I know you've got all that archived.
I was just going to say, I'll pull up some videos, and we don't even need audio for some of these videos, because I live by a lake in Minnesota here called Mille Lacs Lake. And it is at the farthest, like the widest part of the lake it's like 19.9 miles. So it's basically 20 miles. And this, I'm going to put some videos up, and before I share my screen again, I will find a video. So if you want to go for a minute, I'm going to shut my mic off and try to find a couple videos, and then you'll see my screen change, and that'll mean that I'm ready to play a couple interesting long distance footage.
Okay, no worries. Well, while we're waiting for you, Joe, we've got a video that Vernon's pulled up. And yeah. Okay, so something's gone with our setup. I got a new tablet the other day, guys. I will share that with you, but I'm a bit slow getting back to you guys on this new tablet because it's all shiny and I'm sort of having a bit of trouble with it. So, all right, well, while those guys are getting ready, I just wanted to say that welcome everyone here. And Growler, how do you feel about all this? Are you convinced yourself? And you know.
Oh well, look, without a doubt. I mean, like I said, it's either up or down. If the word of God says that we are living on an immovable plane supported by pillars, now what does that mean to you? It doesn't mean something's flying through the air. So, and you know, and all the other references to living on an immovable plane, and I mean, if it says it in the Bible, I would rather believe the word of God than the word of Satan. It's that simple, you know. And I mean, I don't know. It's to me, it's just common sense to believe. You know, what the Father made compared to what Luciferians are thinking and throwing their opinion at you. So,
Okay.
I mean, his creation would just be amazing. It'd just be amazing. So, yeah, so that's the way I see it.
I'm with Growler on that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take God's word over any person on the earth. I'll take God's word over it. And
absolutely.
I've learned just in the last 5 years, I've learned there's no reason to doubt any bit of it. And I can't even say that with more urgency. It is so important. So you can see my screen there, I think, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm going to just play this video, and I don't know. Let's do this. Let me, I'm just going to check something really quick and the audio just to see if it works. If it doesn't work, that's fine too. Because it's just like heavy metal or something that's playing on it because there's no words. So,
yeah, bring it on.
Let's, do you guys want to just tell me if you hear music, and then I'll pause it?
Sure. Yep.
Do you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. That means we can play any video we want in my of my video. So I'm just going to play this, and I might pause it when the curvature calculator comes up so we can explain how that works with the formula and the curvature and all that. But so here we are. I'm at the lake. I've gone up there many times. You can see the water's pretty calm here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mute this and hit play. So my camera is right above the water, 20 inches above the water. And these are the water towers and radio tower that we're going to be looking at. And it's 14 miles or something like that. We'll see when the curvature calculator comes up. It's like 14 miles to the other side, I think. And you'll be able to see that it does not match with the curvature calculator. Okay, it's 13.4 miles from the camera. Oh, you know what? I think I got. Okay, that's a spherical water tower. That water tower is actually only a quarter mile from the shore. So those trees that we're seeing, it's 13 miles to those trees on the shore, which is their trees are only so tall. And that this is showing the water tower is only a quarter mile from the shore. And we can obviously not see the bottom of the water tower because the trees on the shore are covering it up. Whoops, I don't know what happened there. So we can even see houses there. This is not the best, highest quality video. That radio tower there, that communications tower, I think is 15 miles from the camera. Okay, let me pause it here. I'll explain this a little bit. This red line, let's see. I'm trying to, yeah. The red line in the center that says line of sight, that's like from the camera to that communications tower or radio tower, whatever. Then there's a water tower to the left side, and a spherical one, which we already saw, is to the right. And you can actually see all these houses on the shore. It's not very clear because they're very tiny by the time we're looking 13 miles or whatever. It's very hard to see that far. But so that is basically what we're looking at. And you can see, if I pause it there, well, it's hard to see on this. The video is not very high quality. Sorry, I'm just skipping around a little bit. If you watch right to the right of the tower, you can see some of those houses. Just play it. And there's the other water tower. That one's 12.8 miles. And I have more footage of this stuff, but I just wanted to give a general idea of the distances, and then I'll go to the curvature calculator, which there's, basically it's just a math program that helps with the formula. Here you can see houses there. Not like you can see them very clear, but they're not blocked by water is basically the point that I would make. So let's see here. It should be, curvature calculator should be coming up in a minute here. And I do have some, okay, here we go. I'm going to pause it here. So eye height, I did 1.75 feet. And the target distance was 14 miles. And so that gives us a horizon we're supposed to have a horizon at 1.61 miles. And so what that means is that, when you look out to, like if you're at the ocean and you look out, and if a ship was going what they call down the curvature or whatever, it looks like it appears that a ship is sinking down. And so you might see only the sail of a sailboat. Well, that's in with these specs here, that should start happening at 1.61 miles. And we're looking like 12. So that's a big deal there. Wow. So at 12 miles, there should be 102 feet.
Yeah.
That is blocked by water.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Because if the water's curving, there should be 102 feet blocked. So let this play again. And this is a curve. I don't remember where this curvature calculator was, but so what this is showing is that the side view, if it was a curved earth, you have the camera, which is I guess H0, and the target is H1. And the horizon, this is where that 1.6 miles is supposed to be. D1 right there, from the distance of the camera to basically the tangent line of your line of sight where it would where it would be tangent with the water, with the surface of the water. So this, it's hard actually to see 1.6 miles to the horizon. And this is just not what we see in reality. So if there was a house on the other side of the lake, it would be impossible to see it. But there they are. So this is just one example, and sorry for the video quality. It's not very good. I do have better copies on my channel. Okay, so those are basically the 3 line of sights that we were looking at. So water's flat. I guess that's what I wrote there. So
yep. Yeah, I've never seen it tip over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of observations from that lake that I can, I have a video where it's wintertime and the lake is frozen, and I was just panning left to right, and it's a
Yep.
big fishing lake, ice fishing lake. It's like a town in the winter. They have
Wow.
like roads that go all over the place.
Yep.
That reminds me of a video I did. Yeah. I'll play this one in the background if we just want to watch it so you can see how clear. This one's a better quality. But this is the same lake. We're looking same distances basically across the lake. And you can see how many fish houses go to this lake once we pan to the right some more. But I can just leave this playing. It's only a minute long or something. There's that casino. That's 12 miles from the camera. Look at that house right there. Do you see that? How do you see the whole house? I could almost go back. That was.
Oh, wow.
Let's look at that again. Okay, that house is 12 miles from the camera. This one that's above that red house there, you see that house on the shore? How do we see that house on the shore when there's supposed to be 100 or, somewhere around 100 feet hidden?
Yeah.
It just doesn't match with reality. The curvature formula does not match with reality. I think I'd go over to that house here. I'll try to pause it.
Yep.
Okay, there you go. How are we seeing that if the water was curved?
No, impossible.
Yeah, and I think people need to keep in mind that when we're discussing these things and we're looking at these things with a, we're not joking, and we're not looking at these things as if it's a funny thing or something. This is a very serious thing, I think, because if we've if we've been born into a world that has been misunderstanding what it is, and where our place in it is, I think that we can be misled about a lot of things, and it's almost automatic. So when we look at this of these things in these videos, we have to remember that the idea that Earth was a globe, people say, oh, we've known that for thousands of years. Well, you know what? If there's a time that we're going to know it better, it's going to be now or in the future, because we have this technology that we've been building. We have the best optics that exist ever. So these old dead occultist scientist people, Copernicus and all of these people that talked the world into believing in a spinning ball, they did not have the equipment or the resources that we have today. So I don't think that it's like, I think people sometimes think of it the opposite way, and they're like, yeah, but we already proved that. And I'm like, well, how come we're debating it right now when we have the best optics? So it was never proved. It was just believed. And as you can tell in this video, the shore is clear. You clearly see the other side of the lake. So,
yeah, that's right. It's impossible.
And what I find funny as well, they've spent so much. Well, first of all, the money that goes into NASA actually goes back into the military, gets funneled back into the military black op for military aircraft, and the black world, and that's what they use NASA to funnel that money back into black military aviation and the latest technology. And on top of that, there's another question I wanted to ask you, Joe, and I'm not sure if anyone else can help me here. I mean, they spend so much money to go up into space, so much money, and the only shot of the Earth they can basically give you is through a fisheye lens, and there's really hardly any footage of how the Earth really looks. You don't see it because I mean it's like it's like they deliberately show you a little bit of what Earth is. But I don't know, if you're up there and you've got cameras, wouldn't you want to see what Earth looks like really? You know, wouldn't you have actually more footage of it? You'd have more footage of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And they offer us all this footage from the space station and stuff. But I'll tell you what, I think they're just misinterpreting what they're looking at if they are up there. Because if you were to go, like when we're looking at anything from the ground here, we see the sky and we see the ground. And it's always the same when they're up there. You see the sky and the ground. But what is the sky when they're up there? It's darkness. It isn't a blue sky when they're up there. It's always darkness.
That's right.
When I look at that and there's this round kind of look to it at the, you know, the limit of how far you can see from their videos, you know, it may be many hundred miles or whatever, but it appears that there's this roundness to the end of it, that like the dividing line between the earth and the darkness. Well, if you think about it, there's a lot of Bible verses that speak to that and say that, like I better pull it up, but Job, I think 26 talks about, like our view is a circle around us. You know, like when we're looking, it's a circle around us is our, like the limit of our vision. I can't remember. I'll look up the verse here. I can't remember exactly which verse it was, but something about, let's see if I can. Oh yeah. Verse 10, 26 verse 10 says, he hath compassed the waters with bounds until the day and night come to an end. So I'm thinking like that they're just misinterpreting what they're seeing anyway. I
don't think they're actually, they're not actually in outer space. I mean, they're still in the dome. What outer space looks like. I mean, that's what you know, the part of the first, second, and third heaven is, I guess. You know, you've got the first, second, and third heaven. So it's not outer space; it's outer darkness. That's what it is. There's good and bad. That's
exactly what it is.
Yeah, there's good and bad stars in the firmament, and I think I'm not sure. I think yourself or Beck could add to this. I'm not sure if the bad ones can fly around or something like that, but I know the good angels can. They've got free will to do that, but I'm not sure if the bad ones can move around. I think. Do they have to ask for permission, or I don't know?
Well, you know what I was just gonna say too. Since you mentioned outer darkness, if we think about the back to the creation story, like I think it for me, my like a short little testimony about how I came to know that Earth is not a spinning ball in space. There's a lot of, I believe the Holy Spirit if we believe what it says in the Bible, if we believe what Jesus declared, suddenly it becomes visible, and I can't explain it, but in our hearts or in our souls, you can understand some of these things without, like, you know how a lot of the debates that the flat earth globe debates, they end up being about technical things that we can observe and things, and, you know, formulas and this kind of stuff. And I go back to Genesis 1 verse 2, where it says the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. So when I think of that, I'm thinking about there's then he made the firmament and divided those waters up, and there was waters above it and waters beneath it, and the waters beneath it were gathered together, and the dry ground was gathered together, and that's where we live. It's on only a realm, and above it and below it is dark waters. It's darkness. So, and it's in the Bible, the very simple way that I look at it is God is in heaven above. And what this means to me, is literally there's an up and down. And actually, this is a great example because Beck lives in Australia and I live in the US in Minnesota. And
we
so
won't hold that against you.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you. But,
No, I'm joking, brother. I'm joking.
I know. But we always joke around because you know how there's that saying, down under. And that has lost all meaning in my life. And my understanding because what is up to me is heaven. And it's the same heaven for you guys over there.
Exactly.
And so now we say way over. Instead of down under, we say way over.
Oh, the programming runs deep. Sometimes I still say planet and I go, oh, plane. I mean, plane. Hey guys, I've just put up some NASA documents. I've been a little bit busy in the background here. That's why I've been quiet.
Sorry, sister. Can I just say a big hi to Zoe, our sister? Sure. I haven't said hi to Zoe. Hi, Zoe. Love you, sister. Always praying for you. Thank you so much for your support. Sorry about that, Beck.
No, that's okay, guys. I've pulled up some NASA documents, proper NASA documents. This is what I've been doing while I was in the background. So this says that this report details the development of the linear model of a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. These are NASA documents, guys. A flat, non-rotating Earth. I'll see if I can get Messi to put this actual page up so that you can all see this. It's a PDF and it's all NASA documents. Have you seen that one, Joe?
Everybody knows. You guys have you guys heard of Dean Odell Ministries?
Yes.
He did a video or he did a sermon or whatever a couple years ago, and he had Army, the Army, the CIA, NASA, and I'm not sure what other branches of military, but the Growler knows about this stuff. The aerospace industry, ballistic trajectories and things. These are all based on an Earth that is not moving in a flat surface.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a sermon about, and he showed tons of them.
Yeah,
the flight planes in the southern hemisphere disappear on Flight Tracker, because they don't go that way. It's a lot quicker from South America because of the flat plane. It's quicker. Of course, you would think on a globe it'd be quicker to fly from South America to Australia straight across, but they don't. That's why they turn all the radars off, because they actually don't fly there. They fly across, which is a lot quicker, across the plane.
Yep.
If you look at the flat, we'll give you a model of a flat Earth in a second. I think I should use the there is a name, there's a couple, but I'll find it. Now, we're going to pull up this document for you here. Is that all right, Joe? We'll go to this document.
Yeah. Okay. That'd be great.
And this is NASA stuff. This is how I dig for stuff. I just want to know what NASA's saying themselves. Here's August 1988. Oh, my dogs are going off. Hang on.
Is that Trump?
Right there, summary. Okay, so it says right there, summary. This report documents the duration and definition of a linear aircraft model for a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating surface. Well, this is a NASA document, so could someone please explain to me what they're talking about? They're saying it's a flat, non-rotating surface. This is how they get their calculations for flight. So you have a look at Flight Tracker and you can work it out. this just takes critical thinking, a lot of this. It's all it is. You just have to look at, I know the Holy Spirit delivers this and opens your eyes, but when you're learning, your brain has to just learn to look at it from a different angle. And it's all there.
Mm-hmm.
It's all there. So that and NASA documents right there for you. So that's what I was doing when I was being nice and quiet.
And,
and I just thought,
go for it.
Sorry.
Go ahead, brother.
Now, if I've just had a bit of a I had an idea come into my brain for the first time in about 5 years. No, I'm only joking. But when you see, let's say a nuke, an ICBM, let's say it's got to strike 6,000 miles away. Now, when the ICBM is on its trajectory, it goes up, it goes up, it goes up, and then it releases its warheads and comes down. Now, it's like a rainbow, isn't it? The trajectory is like a rainbow. So didn't the Father say he bowed the heavens? Now, if you have a look at it,
Exactly.
if we've got a dome, you can see that ICBM is actually tracking the same way as the dome is shaped.
Yes.
Just as a rainbow does.
The rainbow does.
Yes, that's right.
Same thing as a rainbow. I mean, if we look at the sky, I mean, I don't know how many people notice this, and it's not, like it's real important, but when the jets leave a trail behind their flight, if you're in the middle of a soccer field or something where there's nothing blocking your view, and if you have a jet fly right over your head, if you look up at the sky, you can see the dome of the sky. You can see the jet trajectory. It's the same ballistic trajectory it looks like,
Wow.
So I think that there's when we're on the ground, which that's where we live, there's always a dome appearance to the sky, even stars at night.
Yeah.
Yes.
And speaking of stars, I'm gonna, just for fun, I'm gonna have some stars background, because that's another subject we can talk about concerning people that are trying to understand what this flat earth or this enclosed cosmology is all about.
Yeah, it's better.
The stars are not far away.
No,
that's right. That's right.
That's another thing, that we have better technology in optics to know and to look at these things than we did when all these people decided that we were. This is my favorite star footage. This is taken through my telescope with a Sony Handycam, looking through the eyepiece. That's Arcturus or whatever. Isn't that pretty?
Wow.
Wow. Yeah,
that's what stars look like.
I know. I can see it through my P900.
Yeah, that's water. That's water in there as well. It's like you're looking through the waters above.
Yeah, wow. And I've got some more. I'm just gathering as we're talking here. I'm just gathering a little bit of footage with some of the optics that we have. I mean, like,
look at that. Look at
that. Yeah,
they're
serious. That's serious.
Wow.
Are you serious?
That's not a rock. Yeah, no, that's serious. Here's a set like twin stars, Mizar A and B. Now these are not gas balls millions of light years away. They're just right up in the sky. They're in the firmament.
They're living.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're in the firmament.
Yeah, it's trapped energy, and they're trapped there for a reason. Do you know, somebody made a really good comment? I don't know whose stream it was on, but they said that with the Starlink stuff, that maybe Elon Musk was going to mimic some constellations. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what he's. Yeah. And you know what's? This is something that I was just kind of made aware of, or made to understand. A friend of mine, Thomas Morgan, he comes on my channel once in a while. He was driving in his truck a couple weeks ago, and he said something that made me kind of think, wow. When God set the sun, moon, and the stars in the firmament, he said that they were for signs, seasons, and days and years. And then I was reading in Daniel, this is what Thomas was saying. He said, and in Daniel, you know, the Antichrist or whatever is supposed to make, he's supposed to think to change times and laws. And then I was reading in the book of Enoch, and it goes into great detail about the luminaries and the sun and the moon, and it's talking about the moon, and there's laws that God gave all these luminaries.
Yes.
And that's what the planets are. There was 7 of the luminaries that didn't obey God. And so God bound them there. And so that's what I think the planets are, is that they weren't supposed to be where they are. Oh, here's Polaris. Polaris sits in one spot, guys. It just sits there.
So how can we be spinning if Polaris is not spinning? Not moving?
And you know what? How can my telescope need sidereal motors to follow the stars if the stars aren't spinning above our head? My telescope has motors. I had to, you know, if you want to track a star, you notice on some of the footage, the stars are going by, and that means that I'm not using the motors. So that's right. There's a proof of stationary Earth, is that my telescope has motors on it because the sky turns in a circle.
Yes.
And actually, should I show, I'll pull up a video of star trails, but I do have a kind of a cool one I can play. This one is luminaries frame by frame. That's interesting. Yeah, I'll just play that right now.
See, that's like faces. That's trapped.
Yeah, that's Capella.
Oh, Capella. Okay. Like,
and I'm pulling up some other videos here too. I love videos.
Oh yeah. No, well, this is your own photography, so you know it's you know what you see. It is what it is. That is not a rock.
No,
hanging out in space.
And it's every color of the rainbow.
Yeah,
every color that there exists, it makes every color. Not all the stars don't do that. Just this one.
Right.
And so here's something that, like, I hear this even from people. There's a NASA Facebook page that I put a NASA challenge on to put live video footage of Polaris, and let's see what it looks like, you know, because NASA's supposed to be so whatever high tech or whatever, and they got all this money and equipment and things. You can't go and search the internet. You can't go to nasa.gov and find a live video or even just a video of Polaris. You'll only find images, and their images they're just a dot of light.
Absolutely.
If there's no detail. And so a lot of people on that page comment, well, you're just seeing, you know, distortion in the atmosphere and stuff. And I'm like, that's where they're saying the color comes from and everything. And I say, okay, so this is Vega on the screen right now, the purple, green, and white. Why, when I'm on Vega, is it this color? But then when I go over to Polaris, it's like a more of a maroonish red or whatever, green and white. And you guys saw Sirius. Sirius is like a white ball with rainbow colors kind of, you know, shining off of it. And then Capella is like every color, and it's like flashing. Like every single star is different. And I'm looking through the same eyepiece, and it's the same focus and the same, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really, they're just making an excuse because they don't understand what they're seeing on the screen. These two stars here are part of the Big Dipper. They're in the handle of the Big Dipper. Yeah. You just, like, when you look at them with your eyes, you can't really tell it's two until you get like either binoculars or a telescope out. Yeah, so I slowed it down, and look how they are moving different from each other, or they're like shimmering different from each other a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Pretty cool.
They're stuck together, them two.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking of? Like, I don't know why, and maybe this is just dumb, but it makes me think of, you know, sometimes when mama and daddy are going to have a baby, sometimes they have two.
Yeah, exactly.
Twins. Well, that's just what I look at. I'm like, they're together. They're like together. Like, you know, it just seems like that to me. I don't know why.
Okay. So this is raw footage, guys, that you're seeing from Joe's own you know, filming. This is not NASA.
I've spent a little bit of money. You guys have Craigslist over there or no?
Yeah, we
Craigslist?
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Craigslist is a great place to buy optics because if you think about it, if you have a nice camera and people sell them, you know, if someone's hard up for money or whatever, they want to sell it. And the beauty about optics is you can't really damage them unless they're damaged and you wouldn't want to buy them then.
Yeah.
So if you go buy a telescope, I bought a telescope, one of my favorite, it is my favorite telescope. I bought it and it was, there was a few things that weren't working on it. I took it apart and fixed it myself.
Oh, wow.
And then I make all my own, you know, the pieces, the camera to the telescope and everything. I do that all. I just make it out of plastic or whatever things I have laying around. It's not a high tech, expensive thing. But if you go try to go buy it all brand new or something, you could probably spend a fortune. But you can easily do this with a simple, like I think the telescope we're looking through here, I think I paid $600 for it.
Yeah, right. That's not too bad at all. I've got a telescope I've never used. It's an Orion. And like we tried to set it up. I paid heaps for it. It's like over $1,000. And we can't use it. So it's just sitting in the cupboard. And I use my P9. Yeah, I just use the P900.
The P900 is almost better. It's almost better.
Yeah. That's like, beautiful. Star Child.
I wanted to explain what this is. And I'll tell you what, the Book of Enoch, I know a lot of people don't like that book. They think it's inspired. They think it's, you know, but I'll tell you what, the Book of Enoch describes something. It gives the chapter 71 story of what we're looking at right now. So that star in the center, that's Polaris. That's the North Star. And all those stars going around it, those are, in my opinion, those are obeying God's law. Because we have signs and seasons and days and years, so they're obeying His law by staying that they're going on the courses that He ordained for them. And if we look at those 7 planets, we have they're doing retrograde, and they're not at all doing what the rest of the stars in the entire sky are doing. There's only 7 oddballs up there, and actually now there's 8 with the space station. So that right there, if you think about the Antichrist is he will think to change times and laws. Is that maybe talking about the sky?
Yes.
Like the laws we make down here, you know?
Could be. A thought. It is. It could be part of it anyway.
Or it could be both, you know?
Yes. So you're in Minnesota. You have stars we don't see. We're too far away on the plane to see Polaris.
Yeah, you would.
And I understand that on
more like this, right? But not even. You'd see. You might see more like that or something.
Exactly right.
Depending on where you are.
Right on the outside.
That all has to do with. All has to do with how far away you are. Right now, from my house in Minnesota, Polaris is at 47.5 degrees. And so where you are, it's below the horizon. It's just too far away from that north.
Yes, it's just like when the sun moves away, when it's supposed to be setting over a globe, but it's actually moving away. And once you realize the sun is moving away, it's so easy. You can see it. You can see it.
Yeah. And so what's interesting to me about this is new information to me too. That I didn't ever realize this before, but Enoch says that this is in chapter 71. He says that he's taken up, or he said his spirit was translated up to the highest heaven. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know where he is up there, but what he describes like a house made of crystals and fire.
Yeah.
And there's a throne there at that house. And the holy angels, like the archangels, like Michael and Gabriel and Raphael and Phanuel, they go in and out of that house. And I remember in Luke chapter 1, I think, or yeah, Luke chapter 1, when Zacharias is in the temple and Gabriel comes to tell him that they were going to have John the Baptist, that they were going to have a baby or whatever.
Mm.
When Gabriel was there, he because Zacharias doubted what he said. He's like, my wife is older or whatever, and he was doubting that she would have a child. And Gabriel said, I come here to deliver a message like this, and you doubt me. So that he actually shut his mouth so that he couldn't speak. And he said, I stand in the presence of God. Like he stands in the house of the Lord by his throne, and he was basically giving him kind of a rank, I think, saying, yeah, you don't know what's giving you this message right now. It's not something to doubt. And when I read this 71, Enoch went up there and he saw those angels going in and out of that. And here's what he says. He said, and thousands times thousands, or 10,000 times 10,000 angels encircle that house.
Wow.
So when I look at these stars, I don't see the same sky as I used to. I see God's throne in the center, all the stars circling his throne. They're flying. They're angels flying. It's amazing.
That's right. It's amazing. And so, like, isn't that awesome? Because the hope that we have is not the hope of the world. And the world, it's at rock bottom now. So if people can understand this truth of the enclosed system, I think, Joe, a lot of people have become believers. People go, oh, they got saved or born again. I just say become believers through this actual thing itself and nothing else. And the Father's just dropped it on them. It's amazing.
Yes, I agree.
What's happening. Yeah, it's really amazing what's happening. So there could be people on here that don't agree with us today, but next week he might just open their eyes. It's just that
and
quick.
He did say, read this verse because you just gave me the opportunity. This is one of my favorite parts of the entire Bible. Okay, I just got to share that because it changed my life. Jesus shows up in a vision that he sent to John in the book of Revelation. And in chapter 3, he, let's see, starting in verse 17 in Revelation 3, he says, because thou sayest, I am rich and increased with goods and have nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked. And then he says, I counsel thee, buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous therefore and repent. And then this verse right here is so important. He says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. So what my testimony is that he did that to me. And all I did was say, teach me, tell me, show me. I don't know. I don't know. And I want what the truth is. And this is where it's found, is in the Bible. All of it. And it's so true. I have another video that I'm going to put in the background, not to change subjects, but this is another one that really speaks to Genesis 1. Now, I'm just pausing it there. Do you guys see something in the sky there? It's like darker. What is that? What's happening there? Because science doesn't have such an explanation for that, but the Bible does. Because just as like an interesting note that a lot of people might not have ever even thought of, but in the beginning, right in Genesis 1, the first thing that, when God said, "Let there be light," and there was light, that was on the first day of creation.
Mm.
And it wasn't until the fourth day, 3 days later, that God created the sun, moon, and stars.
Mm.
So there's a different form of light than just the sun and moon and stars. And I'm not saying I understand it, but when I look at this picture, I see, I'll just play. This is just a cloud above my house, a couple years ago. And I was looking at it going, daylight. And have you guys heard of Dan Dimension channel on YouTube?
No.
He has experimented with noble gases, and you know how they say the blue sky is because of the light spectrum and all the whatever. I'm not even word it, but that's not it is charged gas. You know, like a fluorescent light bulb.
Yes,
there's gases inside of there, and you put electricity to it, and they light. So the blue sky, and this kind of goes along with the moon. When we look at the moon during the day, we see blue sky through it, or where where it would be shadowed, or we see blue sky. And so the sun, I think, is actually more of an electrical type of energy that's exciting these gases, and that's where we get because all these noble gases, like I don't know what they all are, but in the upper atmosphere, they all take the same exact colors, like the pinks and oranges, blue, the colors we see at sunset.
Yeah, that's right.
These are the colors of all these different layers of gases when you electrically charge them.
Right. Yeah.
So that's a channel that you guys should definitely go subscribe to, or go check out his videos. A lot of high altitude balloons.
What's his name?
Dan Dimension.
Dan Dimension. Okay, we'll just chuck that in there.
Yeah,
Vernon was saying here. He was saying the sun is the light. That's SON. The sun is the light of the world. He was the original light.
Yeah.
Well, that's very true.
Yeah.
Who said that other light source isn't Yeshua?
Yeah, and he makes he's the light of the world.
Yeah, that's right.
True.
I don't know. It's that was just an opinion. I was just thinking about it after listening to you guys talk, and then I saw Vernon's comment, and I thought, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that could make sense. So look, anything's possible, especially in 2020.
Yeah. We're just going to put that Dan Dimension channel link in for you guys to pick up. So there you go.
He's got some really cool videos. And they're beautiful. Like some of the footage that he has from the high altitude, or the high altitude balloons. Some of it is just awesome.
What was the rocket called that the Go Fast rocket, wasn't it? The Go Fast rocket, Joe.
Oh yeah, yep.
Falcon Heavy?
Yeah, I've seen that.
No, it's not a Falcon.
She's talking about it was just a small private the guy's
right,
name?
Okay. Branson. Was it Branson?
I can't
No.
Bigelow?
It's small time.
Bigelow Aerospace?
No, it's not even an air. It's just
right.
The Go Fast rocket, I think, is probably not the best example, but they made it 70 miles up. And it's kind of a strange bit of footage, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think
Joe,
I think that it's telling.
Yeah.
Do you think
Joe? Oh, sorry.
Do you think okay.
I was just wondering, Joe, have you heard of Bigelow Aerospace in Las Vegas?
No, I have not.
Okay, if you go into Bigelow Aerospace, you would be amazed, really, what's behind that. He is in the so-called white, I call it the white program, the normal space program. But then you've got that the white program as a cover for the black program. So if you go onto Bigelow Aerospace, B-I-G-E, L-O-W. So B-I-G-E-L-O-W, Bigelow Aerospace.
Okay.
You will find a lot. You will find a lot of things that you are looking for. It's a Bigelow Aerospace.
Okay, thanks for that,
Thank you.
Growler. Awesome.
Cool.
That's awesome. That's what we should be doing. We should be sharing all this stuff because, you know, we've done, there's stuff we know that, you know, we can help each other with here. So, okay,
now that's
guys.
another.
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
No,
Sorry,
you go.
Oh, I was just going to bring up. I was going to bring up SpaceX because
yes.
You know, Elon Musk or whatever is the owner of that or the started that, and he says all the time, like I have footage of him saying it. I can play of him saying that the reason why he started SpaceX was to continue the dream of Apollo.
Yeah. There you go.
That should mean something to anybody that is considering these things. I think Apollo is and you know how NASA and even a lot of just people, our neighbors and things, they talk about the spirit of exploration. That's not a good spirit. That's Apollo.
No, it's not. Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
That's the angel of the bottomless pit.
That's
trying
right.
to get into the outer darkness, are they? What are they just trying to see into the outer darkness? Because they're trying to, they're literally trying to smash through the firmament, aren't they?
Yeah, that's, I mean, and my like, I don't really know, but I do know what some, like Ezekiel was lifted up by his hair up into the temple of God, like up to New Jerusalem. I think it was in chapter 8. An angel, I think it said spirit or whatever, grabbed him by the hair and ripped him and pulled him right up there. And he said when he got up there, the Lord was showing him many abominations. And there's some crazy things that the Lord says. I think it's in chapter 7 of Ezekiel. He says that the thieves and robbers would climb into his secret place and defile it. And I'm just thinking Tower of Babel, like that seems like what they were trying to do then. And I'm listening to what God said when he came down and confounded the language. Well, why did he confound the language? Because he said that nothing would be restrained from them if they all were speaking the same language, and whatever they imagined to do, that they would do. And then to me, it just makes me think of what Paul warned us about. God will send them strong delusion so that they believe a lie.
Yes. That's what is upon the world. That is the spell that has been cast. But the spell was cast through the TV when children were young. The spell was cast through movies. It was cast through music. And where did the spell come from originally? And if you look where the spell come from originally and who's telling you that the earth is a ball, it's pretty easy to see the lie. And, you were talking about Copernicus, Joe. Copernicus was actually commissioned by Pope Leo X to make the globe. He was commissioned to do that. So,
and it's there's so many of these stories of people that were, and I'm not sure about all the names because I've forgotten over the years, but like people like Copernicus, or I don't remember who it was, that they came up with a model of like the heliocentric model or whatever. And they like denounced it themselves and
that's right.
Said that they didn't want it, like their all their writings and all that stuff released until they died, which basically tells me that they didn't want it released, and then someone did release it after they died and people started believing it. Like they themselves were like, no, that's not right though. I made that, but that's not the, like, almost like we needed to come up with a complete type of model, and it's just probably literally impossible to do, you know.
Imagine the specifications though, like, gee, they're smart. You got to give it to them, I tell you. But all the specifications go back to the 666 everything. Now, this is a supernatural thing to even for that to be able to see that model in their head could actually work. It's not a working model as such because it's not real, so it's not happening. But in their head, those calculations would work. And that's why people believe it, because they've come up with the scientific lies behind it. All the calculations actually do match up, but that doesn't mean it's real. All they've done is make a model that's not real. Then you've got the enclosed system here that is real. We don't know how big it is, the enclosed system. We don't care to say we know. I don't even care about the ice firmament or the ice wall. I don't know. But I do know what it says in the Bible, and it's on pillars and it's immovable. And you know, he furnished the firmament out of his hands, you know, hard as molten glass. And I think once we do believe that, that's when the miracles will happen in our lives, guys, because that's what happened to me. As soon as you can,
it happened to me too.
Yeah, and as soon as you can see that. Yep. Sorry, guys.
Oh, I think I'm terrible at like when I should start talking. I'm bad at that. But,
it's okay.
When I was first starting considering these things, like of course I said no, that just can't be. You know, that it's a cool idea, but no, you know, it's not reality. But then it was the next following days, and I think it was because it was really on my mind. The waters above. The Bible clearly said that he made a firmament and divided the waters above from the waters below. And then there's other references to the waters above in the Bible. And so I like that was on my mind. And I said, so there's something to this. There's something like maybe I won't know, but I want to know. And of course, like what that said in Revelation, he's standing at the door, and I think I opened the door and he came in.
Yeah.
And when that happened, it was the next couple of weeks, my understanding changed on its own. Like I was working at a job out up north. There wasn't a lot of people at the job. And so I wasn't like too determined to hustle. And as I was working, I just started having my mind looking up at there was jets flying over, you know, like every few minutes or whatever, there's a jet flying over way up there. And my mind just started questioning why does a jet choose that altitude to fly at? Now, Growler will know all about this, but there's a reason for all these things. And then you learn about jet streams and you learn about a lot of different things that it can happen in your mind. You don't need science to understand these things. It's a miracle that happens when we believe. I think that's a good way to say it. That happened to me.
It is. It's nearly the same. I know that it's nearly the same. I can't believe it. It changed everything. And I can't believe what you're playing, because I was just pulling up a video to show the clouds behind the sun. And
oh, yeah, those are cool.
Isn't it? And you're playing nearly exactly the same thing.
This is the eclipse. I filmed this. And wow. I zoomed in on the sun. I don't know why I did, but I just chose to zoom in, and you'll see what I zoomed in on. See on the right side at about, if that was a clock, at about 2:30 or something. Look at this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Watch this. This is amazing. I zoom way in. This is with my P900 now.
Oh, what is that?
We just have to understand.
Demon hanging off there or something.
I know a lot of people said it was a dragon.
Yeah, like a demon or what is it?
It's some kind of fire or whatever, like some kind of heat, because we know that from the Bible it says nothing escapes the heat of the sun. So
But that's not
That's
moving like fire, is it? That's like that.
no,
That's
it's
not
staying in
changing
one
its
spot.
pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call
Okay.
those prominences. And if we have the right kind of telescope, we can see those. It's nearly impossible. See how it disappeared there because the light is so bright next to it that the exposure it kind of fades it out.
Yeah.
But this was a beautiful eclipse, and that I drove down to Nebraska, like a few hundred miles, to film it with another flat earther.
Okay.
But yeah, this video that I'm playing right now, it has those verses from Ezekiel in it, when God is showing Ezekiel abominations, and there's these 25 that Ezekiel saw standing. Should we just play it?
Yeah.
It might
absolutely.
it's basically, it shows us that this sun-centered system is an abomination to God.
Exactly.
And he explains that to Ezekiel by what Ezekiel saw. And then if we look at these, these sunflowers, they're, I think it's called heliotropic. They follow the sun, and so they kind of point at the sun. And some flowers do that. Now we're human beings, and I don't think we want to do that. If you know what I mean. I'll just
yeah, I get you. Mhm.
hopefully the audio works.
Okay.
And then we can pause it if we want, but I'll just hit play here.
Yeah, I might turn it around and watch and make a couple. We're going 2 hours.
Can you hear that music?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to turn my mic down. Then he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east, and they worshipped the sun towards the east. Then he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence, and have returned to provoke me to anger, and lo, they put the branch to their nose. With their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east. And they worship the sun towards the east. With their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east. And they worship the sun towards the east. Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun, and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them, and serve them, which the Lord thy God hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. But the Lord hath taken you, and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day. And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Then he said unto me, The iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceeding great, and the land is full of blood, and the city full of perverseness. For they say, The Lord hath forsaken the earth, and the Lord seeth not. And as for me also, mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense their way upon their head. And behold, the man clothed with linen, which had the inkhorn by his side, reported the matter, saying, I have done what thou hast commanded me. And he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men. Oh, I had to turn that off there. I don't want you to get I think that song that was just coming up would get you where you have to take or it would block the video and you'd have to blah, blah, blah. So, you'd have to mute the song out of the video. So I forgot about that was in here, but, it shouldn't do it because it just played like 1 second of it. But so, yeah. And I repeated the verses in there because I think it's so important for people to realize that the simple word heliocentric, sun-centered. And really the sun is just the greater light, you know. Did I lose them or?
Thanks
okay.
for that, Joe. Had to get my audio back. Thanks for that. We've had a really good chat. Really good chat. And thanks, Growler, too. I'm going to wrap this up. What do you reckon, boys?
Yeah, thank you for
Yep,
I think it's important to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, very important. Absolutely.
And we get a lot of playback. So like the last evening stream, the views just keep going up, Joe. So we're going to get the word out. Even if we didn't have a big audience tonight, it doesn't matter. We're just here to help everybody to get through this period because the C19 is not going away, guys. It's not going away. So
it's part of this. It's part of these end times.
It's part of their agenda and their plan to start the New World Order. So the only thing you can do is literally hit your knees and ask Jesus into your life, and he will help you. There is no way he won't. He stands at the door. If you knock, he will open it. And that's my going out. It's a promise.
Yeah, it's a promise that he made.
That's what I'm going out with today. Yeah.
So for me, that's my testimony is that he changed my life because there was a time 5 or 6 years ago when I did when I was first starting to look at this stuff, and I said, "There's something going on in my heart that I can tell that I need to just submit and ask him to show me the truth." And here's where I am now, and I really feel like I understand so much more about the things we need to understand, I think. So
yeah. I feel exactly the same. And I just hope that we've showed people enough, like when they watch it back, that they could see that the specifications for the globe Earth do not work. 8 inches per square mile. They don't work. And that's all we just wanted to show you guys, that that is a lie. And we found that out. So we're just passing on the information that we found out. That's all we've done.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Learning with each other.
We are. We're just helping each other out as we chat along. And, we'll do this again, Joe. We might try to get Nate on next time, Nathan Thomas. So we'll see how we go.
That'd be awesome.
I would, yeah. He was.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate. We'll chat
Thank
soon.
you very much, Joe.
You guys have a great night.
And thank you
Yep,
to
you too,
everybody.
mate.
Thank you to everybody in the chat. We've still got 8 people in chat. Vernon's there. Homestead Australia. Thanks, Homestead. Thank you, Zoe. Zoe, you take care, my darling. And real name SS Michael Joshua Lewis. He's always there. So thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody. And we will see you next time. We're out.
We're out.
We're out.